Shit.
The show's going great.
That was the best fucking start ever. Top 25 best cartoons of all motherfucking time. In no particular order. Hello, how's it going? Good, great, fantastic. And it's been a no news to slow news week, apart from the usual garbage shenanigans. So we thought, let's just have some fun this week. Let's go top 25 cartoons of all time. We've done a list, no particular order, and we'll agree or disagree whether these should be in the list, what makes them great, what doesn't make them great. So without further ado, let me introduce you to my panel of esteemed colleagues. I have Christine on my left, even though I'm pointing in the other direction. Yeah, and underneath me, as always, I have Roberto.
I'm a bottom.
He's a bottom. And I'm a top.
Oh, demonetized.
Right.
Hey, who are you calling a twink? I'm a fucking bear.
Right, shut up, you butch bitch. Let's just get on with it. Say.
All right.
All right. So, like I said, no particular order. Don't come in here chastising us. Have fun. Make your own list. Put it in the comment section or put it in the live chat. It's all about.
Tell us why you disagree, or comment on the fact that Pani is wearing his hoodie backwards.
So I can cover my face from the idiocy.
Or maybe
I've got so much back fat. There's no need to keep that warm. I'll just keep the frontal part, nice and warm. Because I'm smart.
Well, let us start then with a bang.
Right. So, first on the list. Now, I've got the list here. Again, no particular order.
It's in the banner.
Or Thundercats. Look, I mean, what can't be said about Thundercats? It's an 80s classic. The animation still stands to this day, unlike many 80s cartoons. The voice acting's a little bit naff when you rewatch it, but they were just great. It was just fun to watch. Great episodes. Solid. The theme song is fantastic. Panel, I'll take it to you lot. Go for it.
Jason. Hold on. Oh, I thought I was muted. I was trying to post to like Facebook and crap with the stuff. Anyway, So Thundercats, I didn't watch a lot of. I know of it. I know I've seen a couple episodes. The intro is great.
He-Man.
It's like He-Man with like kitty cats. But yeah, I mean, I was a little too young for Thundercats when it came along. As I said, I remember seeing a couple episodes. One of my friends absolutely loved the new one and was so mad when it got canceled. I have not seen any episodes of that, but I trust his judgment, so I'm pretty sure it was good.
Thundercats 2011 was better than the original. They completely redid it, origins and everything, but it was fantastic. Anyway,
I didn't watch that one.
It was really good.
I'm stuck on the original.
Oh, it was really good. Better than the original.
But I mean, that's really it for me. So, Christine, you go ahead and give us your 8 sages wisdom.
Thundercats is the best of all motherfucking time. The end. It is the fucking best cartoon. It's my favorite ever. I love the title song. I love the whole concept. I mean, it was, I loved it as a child. I still love it. It's awesome. I love the sword. It's
the sword that gets you out of convenient plot holes. Yeah,
like the nostalgia about this. I haven't watched the new ones because I'm stuck a bitch.
It's really good. It was 2011.
They changed the animation.
Yeah, but it was still solid.
I didn't like the animation. I like the old one.
Look, the animation of the old one, and again, to emphasize,
It, wa-
this is an
it
80s cartoon,
yeah, but
but
it was
the
ace.
animation is so good even now.
Yeah, it's ace. I love it.
Yeah.
So anyway, should I move along to the next
Yeah.
one?
Yeah, on to the
Okay,
next one.
gargoyles.
Jason, all yours,
Oh,
mate.
who's starting? Me?
You. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
this is number one on my list. Gargoyles was a show back in the 90s and it's a Disney show. It was dark, it was gritty. It borderlined like a lot of themes that just were not good for cartoons and TV. But it was so good and so well done. And on top of that, for me, I'm a big Trekkie, even back in the day. What are you digging for up there? Jeez.
I'm moving my pillows, man.
Uh-huh. But I mean, like, so I was a big Trekkie. So when I heard Riker's voice and Diana Troy's voice and Data's voice and all these other voices that I knew from Star Trek, I mean, that was just another thing. But this show was so well written. Back a couple years ago, they said that Marvel Studios was going to do a Gargoyles live action movie, like not canon to the MCU, but Marvel Studios was going to do it. And I was so excited. I'm so sad that has not come out yet or even been done yet. Probably won't. But I still think that this needs a live action movie with the original voice acting cast, if they're still with us, which I know a lot of them are. But I think they need to do a live action Gargoyles movie with the original voice acting cast and just go balls to the wall with it. I mean, it's such a good show. Like, you could just base it on those first 5 episodes. Like, and like the first 5 episodes of when in their origin in the past, and then when they come in the beginning, like when Xanatos gets the castle and everything, and just go with it. Because I mean, those first 5 episodes were amazing, and that was like probably one of the first times I'd ever watched like that long of a cartoon, but it was like a sequential story. It wasn't like villain of the week, like some of the other ones that were going on back then, like Spider-Man, X-Men, yada yada yada. So I don't know, there was a lot of good stuff in that show, and I'll take it up to Panny.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch all of it, but from the little that I got to watch, I absolutely loved it. Like, it was just dark. It wasn't scared to, like, have adult themes and just be like, this is what it is. That's a bit of a vague description, but I just remember really enjoying it. And I've never gotten around to just getting the box set, which is what I do with animations. I tend to buy the box sets, but I don't even know if that's available in the UK or whatnot. But with Disney Plus coming, I know when I do the free trial, that's pretty much what I'm going to be binging on is Gargoyles. Get the whole series done and out of the way.
That is going to be the first thing I binge, and I've seen it all. So I own a majority. Everything that is out currently on DVD, I own, and I'm still going to binge.
Did they do the full collection on DVD?
What'd you say? I missed it.
On Gargoyles, did they do the full collection or not?
No, not the full collection. There's there's season 1, and then there's season 2, volume 1, and then there's season 2, volume 2. But I think there's a 3rd season. I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's still some missing stuff in there. But no, I'm binging the whole thing beginning to end. That's gonna, besides the new content. I mean, that's gonna be my first retro thing I binge.
I can say, back in the 90s, the sister and I were fucking obsessed with Gargoyles. It was so fucking good. Like, yeah, I miss it. Nostalgia again, but I don't know if today's cartoons are shit or not, because I'm not watching them. But, back in my days, they made some good shit, and Gargoyles were among the best shit ever.
Yeah.
We should have put this one at the end of the list, just because, even though it's in no particular order, we should have put this one at the end of the list just because we all love it so much.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Doesn't matter.
There are others that we all love anyway. Moving along to He-Man.
Speedo
By
Man.
the power of Grayskull, I have a shit haircut. He-Man, Teela, my first ever crush. What a woman. What a woman. Everyone has like real women, but mine was Teela. And then it was Belinda Carlisle. I'm that old. Anyway, He-Man, when it came out, I absolutely loved it. I didn't have all of the toys because, it was that or Star Wars or Mask. That Star Wars or Mask. So I went with Star Wars and Mask. But I enjoyed the cartoon. You rewatch it back now, and the animation is terrible. The cartoon, the shows are terrible. The remake that they brought out, I think it was 2003, was way better. But it was a fun show, for 80s stuff, and it was, filmation. Filmation at the time was bigger than Disney. In the 80s, it was just peak filmation. As a kid, it was a lot of fun to watch and enjoy. I don't know what else to say about it. So, Christine, I'll take it to you.
Well, I mean, what you said, for kids, it was one of those things that, every weekend morning we would wake up and watch this shit. Then it was also, Slash Shira, that was actually very inspirational for many of us of the female kind.
Mm-hmm.
That we used to play. But yeah, I liked it. I don't remember too much about it as an adult, if I'm being honest. But as a child, I really had fun watching a lot of He-Man and a lot of Skeletors and shit.
Yeah.
Because, I think I like Skeletor more. But yeah,
Skeletor was. I think that was the main draw of the show for me was Skeletor. In fact, I think it's quite convenient because I've got my Skeletor t-shirt on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've met the guy that did his voice. I forget his fucking name, but it's something at a London convention as well. So that's pretty cool.
I love some of the
one of those
villains
off.
so much. And speaking of Skeletor, I really loved Mamra as well. Anyway, down to you, Jason. Down there to the bottom. Tell us what you think about He-Man and his terrible haircut.
I watched far less of He-Man than any other cartoon in the universe. I've only seen clips, and I think that you guys remember the show Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
What are you doing here?
What am I doing here? Shut up.
Doing here? You haven't watched Thundercats. You haven't watched He-Man.
He's
you're
young.
older than
He's a
me.
baby. Leave him alone.
He's older than me.
What do you mean I'm a
Is
baby?
he?
I'm older than Christine. So I mean, with He-Man, I mean, I think He-Man would be hilarious if they did. You guys remember Space Ghost Coast to Coast, where they took Space Ghost and they did like the talk show and everything?
Ooh, I forgot one, guys.
That.
Yeah, we got to add that one to the list because I forgot about that one yesterday too. Until I was
remember Silverhawks.
Yeah,
but I think
I
think they should do Man. I think they should do He-Man Coast to Coast. I think they should do that with like a bunch of old school cartoons that they can just like rip out and just do some comedy voice acting with. But I mean, the show itself. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was a generation defining animated show. He wore a Speedo around. He had a cat that turned into like a big cat. I don't know. That's about all I know. By the power of Grayskull compels you or something like that. I don't know.
Also, the name.
By the power of Grayskull compels you.
The name was just so fucking. It was like somebody just asked a drunken Englishman, "What should I name this?" But He-Man. He-Man. Like ridiculous, but brilliant. Like, fuck it.
Well, that's because back then they had that mentality. They're like, what are we gonna call it? I don't know, fuck it. Like back in the 60s, what are we gonna call this guy? Let's call him Spider-Man. I mean, he's a spider and he's a man. Ooh.
Yeah.
Half of them are like that. Batman is the same,
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it for me.
But let's make a slash here. Yeah, Silverhawks. Awesome. Not in the list, but Fucking A. Anyway, moving along to some of the more classic ones.
All right. So
Tom
this
and
is my
fucking Jerry.
this is my all-time favorite cartoon. But I need to emphasize the Quincy Jones, is it not Quincy Jones? Fred Quimby, sorry. The Fred Quimby ones are my absolute favorite Tom and Jerry ones because after Quimby wasn't the executive producer, it just went downhill straight away. And fun fact, that's why the mayor in The Simpsons is called Mayor Quimby. Is named after Fred Quimby off of Tom and Jerry fame. I love these cartoons. They are so funny. The not just the so funny, the animation is so beautiful. Like when they're doing like when they're at the opera and he's playing the piano and they're just playing along to the music and the animation that coincides with it, or just the Tom's scream when he gets hit is so bloody funny. I loved it. I love the violence of it. I love that sudden impactful violence. Never like replicated for a kids cartoon. Even with the Warner Brothers stuff, this is still just. It was in a world of its own. It was unapologetic with its violence and silliness, and that's why it's top of my list. It's good old slapstick in animation form. Jason.
I mean, I watched a lot of Tom and Jerry growing up. It's probably why a lot of people are in abusive relationships and keep coming back to it. So, I don't know. I mean, I didn't like Tom and Jerry all that much. I mean, I watched it every now and then. I mean, I don't like I'm not a big physical humor type person. So, like, I'm a big, like, sarcastic or ironic humor type person. So, I mean, watching people get beat up, like, I don't like sitting down and watching videos of people falling off their skateboards and busting their face on the pavement. Like
the balls.
Or the balls. Yeah. I mean, I put myself in their shoes and I don't do that. Like, I'm not a physical comedy person.
Fuck your empathy.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Christine.
Love it, love it, love it. I loved it as a child. And here I'm also gonna put the slash here with Tweety and Sylvester as well, because that was similar and also awesome. But Tom and Jerry, man, oh my god, the laughs I've had as a kid with this one.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Like it's not. I don't know if this kind of cartoon would be considered acceptable in today's society, because there were a lot questionable things happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, we watched it and we came out like this. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, when you compare it to today's stuff is just soft as shit compared to Tom and Jerry, or
Yeah,
it's more geared towards adults.
What do you think will happen if like a mouse just takes a fucking huge ass hammer to a cat? It's not real, man. It's cartoon. We all know that. We didn't become more violent because of it. We became more violent for other reasons.
Yeah,
like,
society. Neoliberalism.
The political systems around
the
the
political
world.
system.
The fuck, we're all fucked over by the elder generations and shit. Yeah,
okay,
the
boomer.
war is
exactly.
on. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving
along. Yeah, again,
to the creator of culture.
Yeah,
who would
Bugs
have
Bunny.
known
Christine,
about good fucking classical music if not for Bugs Bunny?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They inserted some culture into their cartoons.
Yeah.
No, for real, I'm not kidding about this, but this was my actual introduction to classical music. For me, was Bugs Bunny. This is what started it. And I'm a big fan. For those that don't know, I might swear a lot, but I'm very cultured. I'll tell you that. There's so much culture in me. It's like falling off my pockets and shit, even though I don't have pockets, because women don't have pockets. Everyone know
No,
that.
they don't for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, for some dumb reason. Anyway,
$1 million idea. Make clothes with pockets in it. You'll be the richest man alive or woman.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. We want fucking pockets and everything. Put
Yeah,
them there. Make it happen. Do it.
exactly. Why does it
Anyway,
have to be a handbag? It's collusion.
Ginger,
Collusion.
Ginger, to you.
Uh, yeah, Bugs Bunny. I absolutely loved it. Like the voice was amazing. The the gay undertones that were always around was hilarious. Like, you know, the amount of cross dressing that Bugs Bunny
Yes.
used to do was just like, you know, today you're not getting away with that kind of thing. Yeah, again, you know, the violence, the it's what got me liking carrots. You know, I ate carrots because of Bugs Bunny. I ate spinach because of Popeye. You know, these kind of things. But it was just bloody funny. It was just, again, the violence was crazy.
I have to ask something. Like,
Yeah.
how many carrots and how much spinach, man?
Well, I mean, you know, I just didn't hate them. You know, I didn't have any. You know what kids are like with like vegetables and things like that.
Oh yeah, I like carrots.
I just like them because, you know, hey, Bugs Bunny liked them, so
I
I'll
like
eat
them
them.
more as an adult.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too. To
Yeah.
be honest, carrots are lovely, but yeah, it was just a cultural, just this. I don't know how to like Bugs Bunny was just on a different level of insanity. Plus, it suited me because I had ADHD and he was just bouncing all over the fucking place like I was. So
Yes, likewise.
it was
I
perfect.
was very hyperactive as a kid.
Yeah.
I think we
Jason?
all were. Bugs Bunny's cool. I mean, you know, beyond that, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, yeah, I mean, he was probably my introduction to classical music too.
Yes, he did, mate. Yes, he did.
But I don't know. I mean, Bugs Bunny's good. I mean, you know, I mean, I respect the classics. He's, you know, there was a lot of good writing in there. I remember. I remember watching going back, watching some Bugs Bunny cartoons. Like, wow, this is really well written for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what was it, like a 10, 15, like a 10-minute short?
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. I don't know if this.
Nope.
Did I bump out? Yeah. This internet's being buggy today. I don't know if this is on our list, but Tiny Toons, I did like better.
No, it's not on our list.
Okay, well, I like
Tiny
Tiny Toons. It was a little bit more modern. They had some of the same stuff, but not. It was. I don't want to say it was as good.
Yeah.
So.
Are you even a millennial? I mean, so far you have disliked all the best shit. Man. Oh man!
I advocated for Gargoyles hard.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
all over the
I'll
screen.
give you that. But oh my God, there's echo.
Oh, it's not me.
Is it me?
Yes.
How is it me?
I don't know. Let me mute you.
It's definitely not me. That's why I put the one.
Yeah, it's definitely you, Jason.
It's your internet being a bit silly.
Why don't you put headphones on like a normal person? The next one, oh yes,
now,
fucking yes.
All right, go for it, Chris.
One of my favorite cartoons ever. Like, I can't say how many hours I spent rooting for Wile E. Coyote to cut the motherfucker.
Fuck that Roadrunner.
Oh, actually, there
Roadrunner.
is a custom video on YouTube that actually shows the end of the Roadrunner, and fucking enjoyed it so much. So much. I should actually find it and put it in the description of this video so people can enjoy it. Because man, that motherfucking bird was so annoying. I wanted it to die so badly. And I know that it was supposed to be the, you know, the protagonist of the show, but fuck that. No. Wile E. Coyote was the best guy. So much fun. So, like, oh my God. I'm thinking about it and dying.
He was homosexual Simpson before Homer Simpson was even around. Like just really
Yeah,
fucking
just
dumb and
better,
down on his
but
luck and
better
just
though.
but way better. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Roadrunner was
it's not like he didn't have some good ideas. He did, but the Roadrunner was just a lucky motherfucker. You know,
yeah. And Acme
what can you
Corporation
do?
are terrible.
Yeah, fuck him.
They kept selling him duds. They must be what's the equivalent? I don't know. But yeah, they just kept sending him fucking duds. Yeah, this is my dad's favorite cartoon of all time as well. He absolutely loves it. It's the same shit over and over, but it's brilliant. I mean, there's not
Yeah,
much else to say. It was just really funny. It was well executed. Some of the stunts were hilarious. You knew it was coming, and fuck that Roadrunner. I always rooted for the Coyote as well. Yeah, Jason.
You know, the Roadrunner was always like a happy life. Like you're always chasing a happy life. You're always trying to find some life hack to get a happy life, and you just can never get it because
Yeah,
fuck that Roadrunner.
yeah, it's what
100%.
unites us.
Yeah.
Actually, what the funny story is that whenever I would go to Acme as a kid, I would always try to look for the Acme like kits that would be on the Roadrunner show. Like I'd be like, we have a store called Acme here, and I don't know if you guys have it where you guys are, but we actually have a store. It's a big store, grocery store, and it's called Acme. So when we would go there, I would always be like, well, where does the Coyote keep getting this stuff from? Because I mean, it's got to be some mail order thing or something. Like, yeah. So back in my young and dumb days, and now I'm just old and dumb. But yeah, no, this one was, I mean, it didn't have as much physical humor in it as like Tom and Jerry, so I was more okay with it. Because, I'm a lame. But
Yes, you're a cuck.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, this one was fun. And as I said, it was always fun just, it's like an allegory of us chasing that brass ring that we're always going after,
Yeah.
And it's like the Joker said. Except it's like the Wile E. Coyote. He probably would catch it and he wouldn't know what to do with it. Like it's like a dog chasing a car. He wouldn't know what to do with it if he ever caught it.
Well, he'd eat it.
Well, yeah, okay. But still.
No.
Next
Sorry
one.
about that, guys.
Okay.
Give me a second. Yes, give me a fucking second. Next one. Transformers.
All yours, Jason.
Transformers. No, so I didn't watch a lot of the original. It was okay. I remember seeing a couple episodes. My favorite, and I'm gonna go way off on this one because honestly, one of my favorite shows of all time was Transformers Beast Wars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that show so much. I own it, the entire thing, like the entire thing on DVD. Beast Wars was a great show. I mean, like it was in the beginning, they were kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do, but as they got further into it, they're like, "No, we're just going balls to the wall, and we're just going to do this, and we're going to do what we want, and it's going to be epic." And they did it. And they had people. They had like people switching sides. They had people, like they had like, dude, Megatron's a dick, and they kind of like, they kind of showed like what happens when you're addicted to people a lot because Megatron got screwed over like all the time. And then they kept the show evolving. And then, because it's like you've got towards the end of the show, you've got like all these people going through their second generation forms, even third generation forms. But then it's just like, at the end, you still got people like Waspinator who's still, or no, maybe not Waspinator, but somebody who was still in like their original form, still trying to keep up with everybody else. And then you also have, and then like you also had to deal with that. Like when Dinobot died, like I think it was Dinobot, the guy who like betrayed the Decepticons, and then the guy who betrayed the Decepticons, and then joined. And then when he died, like in that show, dude, I was like physically weeping for him because it was like he was fighting so hard, and he was a traitor, but at the same time, he followed his heart and did what he believed in. So I love that show. And I know it's not the Transformers you guys are going to talk about, but that's my Transformers memories.
No, there's no rules here, mate. You can talk about what you like. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, I mean, the old 80s Transformers, yeah, I really enjoyed it as a kid. Had a load of the toys. as well. Well, my brother did anyway, but yeah, we just kind of shared stuff. Yeah, I enjoyed the cartoon. I mainly used to watch it in Greece, as opposed to over here, because I had stupid school hours over here in the UK. Because I had to travel far for school, not relevant to the story, so I used to miss it. But when I was in Greece in the summers, they play it all the time, and yeah, I enjoyed it. You know, the voices were silly. Everyone will take a good ass beating every time, and yeah, it was great. The film was out of this world. You know, the Transformers movie was out of this world. I just loved when they killed off Optimus Prime. I'm not one of those people that just thinks, "Oh no, he's good." I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna get good." So yeah, I wasn't like a huge Transformers fan. I just enjoyed it for what it was and enjoyed the toys for what they were. That's it, really, Christine.
I was never a big fan of Transformers. I
Fair
couldn't
enough.
really care less. The same goes for the movies. Yet another franchise that needs to die.
Oh, you're
Oh,
talking
I don't
about
care about the
the
film.
the Bay Abominations. I thought the first movie was good. Like the first Bay movie was good, and then after
Get
that,
out of here, Jason. Your opinion doesn't matter. It needs to die. I declare. So yeah, I have nothing to say.
Okay. On to the next one then. Poor Jason. Oh, Red and Stimpy. Oh
Can I
yes.
start? Because the
Yeah, go
only
for
thing
it.
I've seen of this is that no safe for work video with the saw. That's Ren and Stimpy, right?
Yeah, that's
Aw.
pretty much Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've watched of it. But it was hilarious. I don't know if the whole show was like this.
Yeah, it was.
So it's an adult show.
No, it wasn't. It was a kids show, but it had very, very much adult
What?
themes. Yeah,
like
That
yeah,
Ren and
yeah.
was
Stimpy, or like
that,
Rocco's Modern Life. I felt like those
Yeah,
two are
like
in the
rock.
same vein.
Yeah,
like for real. The only clip I've watched was the one with the log and the saw. Come on now, that was
yeah,
was that real? That was actually real from the show.
yeah. It's in the
Yeah,
And,
show.
and, and that and
Yeah,
that's a kids show.
yeah.
Okay,
It
okay.
had a lot of adult undertones in it. It was one of Crick just points that I think him and Nickelodeon like came to blows over it as well. I think that's why he ended up getting kicked off the show eventually, and that. But yeah, he wanted to keep it. You know, he didn't want to talk down to kids or make it like dumbed down silly. He wanted to keep a lot of the adult themes in it. And it was just, you know, there's a whole episode about Stimpy just he farts and the fart goes away and then he's sad because he's lost his fart. So he spends the whole episode just looking for his fart. Yeah, that's the level that Ren and Stimpy was dealing with, and it was just brilliant. It was just such a laugh. Jason,
Oh God, I hated this show so much.
Oh my
good lord,
god!
you're
What
such
the
a
fuck
prude.
Look,
what the fuck are
I
you,
hate
Jason?
I hate all of these style shows that are like, you know, like
Fun.
no, they're not fun. Like
They
Beavis and
are
Oh.
Butthead.
fun.
Oh
Oh my
God, like
god!
All
When
right,
you're
okay.
born an
Don't interrupt.
adult,
Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Don't. Carry on, Jason.
I think my
Carry,
internet's being buggy.
yeah,
Hello, am I still
carry
here?
on.
yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Okay. But with Ren and Stimpy, it's just like I don't as a young kid, I didn't care for this adult humor. Now keep in mind, I have not gone back and watched this as an adult. So I may go back now and watch it as an adult and be like, oh my God, this is like hilarious. But back then I didn't care for it. The only thing I ever loved was Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence, which I thought was a real game. Don't whiz on the electric fence. I'm like, that's a great game. We can pee on fences. And then I had a Ren and Stimpy comic book back in the day because my parents, for some reason, thought I loved the show. But it had Spider-Man in it, and along the lines of the episode you were talking about, Stimpy and Spider-Man had a farting contest, and Spider-Man won. So
Yeah, that's it. There you go. That's,
That sounds epic. I might
Yeah.
actually watch it now.
Echo. But yeah, it was great. I loved it.
is it me with the echo again?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
always you, Jason. Always you.
All right, Christine, this next one, you can definitely take the lead with this.
Oh my god! Next season starts tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Oh, come on.
Oh my god, it's like the best thing that's ever happened in the last decades. I don't know. It's the best thing. I'm loving Rick and Morty so fucking much. I can binge watch this shit. I can eat it up all day, man. It doesn't get old. No matter how many times I watch the episodes, they're still fucking hilarious. I don't know. It's like my top shit of the past few years. Like my top, even topper than Game of Thrones.
Really? Fucking hell.
Yeah. Oh, by far, I'd say by far. Yeah. Rick and Morty, ace, A plus, 10 out of 10, the best.
Okay. Jason, you watched Rick and Morty at all?
I have never watched. I know.
Oh my
of it.
god.
Okay, hold on. I've never watched Rick and Morty. I've seen tons about it. A lot of my friends watch it. I'm pretty sure I would probably like it if I watched it. It's just at this point in my life, I have not had time to sit down and dedicate to it. Plus, unless it's on like Hulu or something like that, I don't have a way to watch it. So, and it might be on Hulu. I just don't know. Like, I just haven't searched it.
It's
out.
on Adult Swim, so I don't know if
Yeah.
that's available to you or not.
I might be able to watch episodes because that's how I watch Dragon Ball Super. So I don't know if like they have like a episode lock after 3 episodes or so. You can watch 3 episodes and then it locks it or something like that.
Okay.
But I haven't watched it. I haven't had time to watch it. I know it's based on Back to the Future, and you guys know what I think about Back to the Future. It's not based on it, but like there's a lot of the Back to the Future.
No, man, no.
And I did
so
not
much
like
better.
Back to the Future, so
It's so much better. Like,
Sorry.
okay, I think we need to make a special show just for ripping on Jason.
Okay.
It's gonna be a bullying episode.
No, we can do the roast of Jason, and then like y'all
Yes.
just roast me. We could. Oh, that would be a great show. We would do just roasts of each other.
Oh
good to me.
shit! Yeah,
We bring
I
on like
wish I
6
thought I'd
people
do
and just
that.
roast each other.
I'll
Yeah.
just get bored and start roasting myself.
Yeah, right.
Okay, go on. Tell us what you think, Penny, about this.
Rick and Morty is shit. It's the worst show ever made. I hate it. No, I'm kidding. I love it. I love Rick and Morty. It really is like Back to the Future on acid, but better because it's multi-dimensional as opposed to time traveling. It's just. Yeah, it's just I love anything. I'm always a sucker for things to do with like multi-dimensions and that like Sliders, for example. That was a great show back in the day. But I just it's funny as hell. It doesn't pull any punches. Pickle Rick has no reason to be one of the best ever cartoon episodes ever, but it is.
And yet it is. Yes. Yes.
It's Pickle Rick. Like season 3, I would say was slightly weaker than the other 2, but Pickle Rick is just one of the best cartoon episodes of anything ever. It was so fucking funny, and I can't wait for it. It's coming back, and I think they're not going to be taking as long a breaks this time, so that's good. But Rick and Morty is just this. Its popularity is like insane levels, and it's not consistently on, but people won't shut up about it. It's that loved. It's that. Sorry, go on, Jason.
No. I just when you're done, I feel like Rick and Morty is kind of like the cartoon version of Big Bang Theory. Is like
No.
Well, and I've never watched either of them, but the way people talk about it, the way people talk about it is that, look, the way people talk
I'm
about both
sorry,
shows is very similar.
but
Wait, Christine,
you're
wait,
so
Christine.
full of shit.
Wait,
I
wait.
haven't watched either, but I think it's like this, dude.
No, I'm
Shut
not.
the fuck up.
I'm
No.
saying I'm saying how people talk about these shows. You know what I mean? Like Big Bang Theory and like is like the live action version. And I'm not talking about the show. The shows are completely different. I know that. I'm not saying they're similar. I'm saying the way people talk about them. They're like the MCU of like, you know, like Big Bang Theory is like the MCU of television, and like Rick and Morty's like the MCU of animated. You know, like it's like the big popular thing to do, and that's
I
why it,
I
yeah.
would I would personally say that Rick and Morty is on par with Game of Thrones in terms of people talking about it.
Hmm.
Big Bang Theory outside of the US, nobody really talks or cares about it. It's god awful. It's one of the worst shows I've had to endure watching because the
I like a
feminine.
few seasons, but it's very problematic.
I
Let's
just
say,
don't like it. I just don't
yeah.
like it. I can't stand studio audience comedies anymore. We're way beyond that. That was a thing for the 80s and the 90s. We've evolved past that. But you know, in terms of the cultural phenomenon, it's like Game of Thrones levels at how much people talk about it. Um, it's just love it. I absolutely love it. I can't fucking wait for it to start tomorrow.
Yeah. It's not a show. It's not a cartoon, Jason. It's a phenomenon. You have to
Yeah.
do it.
All
Peer
right. Next.
pressure. Be one of us.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
baby. Now,
No.
this is after Tom and Jerry for me. South Park is my second favorite animation of all time, and 23 years, and it's still going strong. The last episode they just had, which is called, I don't know if I have the name for it, but it's episode 2306. I don't have the name for it. Was one of their best ever, and it just goes in hard on itself. It goes in hard on like what's happening in America at the moment. It goes in hard on just God knows what. But it's always been like for me, Matt and Trey are geniuses.
They
They
are,
have
yeah.
ascended to the level of gods because the fact that you're still funny and still relevant after 23 years. How many creators stay that relevant for that long on such a level, and just always have something that still manages to go viral even in today's like TV land. You know, I could sit here and gush all day about South Park and just the way it's handled topics, the way they look at things from both perspectives. Just a flat out silliness, funny shit that they do. But we haven't got all day, so I'll move it on to Jason.
Yeah, I hate South Park. Moving on.
Okay,
Oh
Christine.
my god. Well, I haven't watched the last couple of seasons, but it's one of my favorite shit of all time because it's so fucking absurd. It's always, what's the fucking word? Like it's always on top of current events. It's like seeing an alternate universe of what's happening in the world and realizing how fucked up the world is
Yeah,
because it's portrayed in an exaggerated manner, but it's actually so close to reality that OMG, it's brilliant. And yes, I agree, they are geniuses. Jason, you suck. I love South Park.
okay, moving on. And I don't know why this one's on the list, but moving on.
Uh, I don't know. I think Zam put it there. Let's
Yeah,
rip on Zam.
let's rip
Family
on
Guy.
Zam.
I don't much care about it.
Jason.
No, I hate this show too.
Yeah,
Okay,
Family Guy
moving on.
sucks. Yeah, Family Guy. Family Guy sucks. It's for the lowest common denominator. It's for low IQ morons who don't like to, who can't handle nuance. I just need to be distracted every 2 seconds with dumb fucking cutaways. Seth MacFarlane's career is built on ripping off other people's ideas. I mean, to be fair, he got lucky with that
The Orville?
fucking that one
That
because he
wasn't being
ripped off
lucky.
Star
That
Trek,
was
but
really
it's
good
better than
though.
Star Trek. So,
Yeah, it's
you
really
know,
good.
if
I like
NBC had half a brain, they'd just make him the fucking producer of Star Trek because he's
well,
done
I
a really
I
good job
actually
with
like
that.
Orville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
me
I think
too.
it's because it's just like lack of Trek in general, and he
Yeah.
actually does like. I mean, there. Here, I'm going to defend him in one point. Like, I don't like Family Guy. I think that's a stupid show. But I mean, there is a place for parody in this world. And it's like Weird Al Yankovic. I mean, like, not everybody's gonna like it, but if it's riffing on something you love, sometimes it hits that chord where you're just like, you know what? This is making fun of my favorite thing, but it's actually pretty freaking funny. And they're right. I mean, everything has flaws, and they just point all that out. I really wish they would have just let Seth MacFarlane do a Trek show,
Oh yes.
and just made it
Yeah.
a Trek show, because I think he would have done it justice. But I mean, I mean, I like Seth MacFarlane, but yeah, no, this show was just. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with what you said
Yeah, I
about
agree with what you
the
say.
Orville, but I'll say this: it might be a parody, but I think it's done very respectfully to the source material, and it's
You're
done
talking about the
very
Orville
well.
here, not
Yeah, I'm
Family
talking
Guy.
about the
Yeah.
Orville. Fuck Family Guy.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
nobody cares about Family. You might
Anyway,
as well
Nobody
put
cares.
Orville on this list, even though it's live action.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can fangirl it about
Fuck
it
Family
later.
Guy, we're putting in the Orville.
Yeah, fuck it. We're doing it live.
Yeah, fuck it, we do it live.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, so I think with the
Who put
Simpsons,
that shit there?
what? I don't know. The
Okay,
first,
there are some good Simpson shit. I don't know if it's good anymore because I
no,
haven't
it's not.
watched it in ages. But okay, I'll say the thing I liked about it was Bart's pranks to Mo. The ha ha
Yeah,
and
Nelson.
yeah yeah, I guess Lisa being the only smart person in the whole universe.
Well, in the whole town for sure.
In the
Yeah,
whole town, yeah.
yeah. We got to dissect South Simpsons first of all because it's not just that. Okay, the first 10 seasons were excellent. After that, it was just okay. Yes, we know. You get fed up of Homer doing the same shit over and over, and it's always just about the Simpsons. Like if it was me, I would have evolved it beyond the Simpsons and made it just about Springfield. But they were too scared to think outside the box. They were gonna do a spin-off of Springfield, but they just didn't do it and whatever, but people still watch it. But at the time, we're talking, I think Bush had just come into office at the time and all this. And what it did is it showed a more realistic version, just like Married with Children, a more realistic version of your typical nuclear family in America, which isn't all fucking sunshines and we're all rich and we have problems and oh no, which is what most American sitcoms used to be about, rich people with problems. This one was just like, no, we're all insane, we're all crazy, but we all love each other, and we're vulgar and silly and all of that. And even Barbara Bush wanted it banned off of TV at the time. But it just the way it handles subjects, the way its humor was fantastic.
The way
Homer,
it predicted the future.
yeah, the way it's predicted the future on many occasions. Again, Matt Groening at that time was just on another level. But he
But
hasn't.
it should have died a long time ago.
Yeah, it should have died a very, very long time ago because it hasn't stayed like fresh or relevant like South Park has. South Park it just keeps going and going and it never lets up. But yeah, I love The Simpsons. Some of the episodes were just too bloody good. I've laughed my ass off. Beyond my ass could take. That's a good way of saying it. Jason, Simpsons.
I mean, this is the quintessential middle of the road for me. Like I watched it as a kid and I loved it. I haven't watched it in years, but I'd probably go back and watch it again. Like with it being on Disney Plus, isn't it? Is it going to be on Disney Plus or Hulu? So like, I might actually go back and watch this like from the beginning, and just like, and I might love it. But it's like I haven't watched it in years. I did watch the Simpsons movie that came out a couple years ago. and I actually really liked it. Like I mean, I wouldn't put it on like my top 5 or top even
It was
10
alright, yeah.
favorite animated movies of all time, but I sat there enjoying it, going, "Wow, this I really wish I was still watching The Simpsons after watching this movie."
I have
So
a
I mean, that's
question.
really my only thoughts on that one.
I have a
Okay.
question for you because you're being a bit inconsistent, my dude. So you have enough time to rewatch 50 fucking seasons of Simpsons and you don't have time for Rick and Morty?
I don't have a platform to watch.
Shame on
No,
you.
no, no. I don't have a platform to watch Rick and Morty.
Shame on you.
No, I never said that. I said I don't have a platform. If it's all on Hulu, then
Don't
yeah,
you
maybe
have
I'll go back and
internet?
watch it.
Don't you have internet?
Okay, I'm not going to
Doesn't it
pirated sites. I
go
don't
on
do.
Adult Swim? Don't they have a website?
Yeah, but you have to have a cable subscription to watch the entirety of stuff.
All right.
Ugh, okay,
I've already looked
sucks to be
into it.
you.
Biatch.
Then pirate it for fuck's sake.
No, I'm not
It's
pirating
worth
it.
it. It's worth it.
How do you think we watch it over here in the UK?
Yeah, I know exactly how you do.
Exactly. Exactly.
We don't fucking watch it on cable. Do you know how expensive cable is here in the UK? Jesus
I
Christ.
don't even think if we have cable over here. Anyway, moving on. I don't know if I want to say anything more about Simpsons. I said something, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Anyway, moving on. I don't remember which one is that.
Ooh, this is the good
Oh,
one.
this is Jason's.
2009.
Go for it. This is all yours. I've never watched it. I've nothing.
Oh, okay.
to
So
say.
let's just take all 5 seasons of the Spider-Man the animated series, ball it up, condense it into this little minute thing, and then it would be like,
And smoke it.
and then smoke it. No,
How
but
many
like,
seasons was it?
and then you would see like how good Spectacular Spider-Man is, because Spectacular Spider-Man in 2 seasons did more, in my opinion, for the character and for progression of Peter Parker than the entirety of the animated series did. The only thing the original animated series did for Spider-Man was make him lose Mary Jane. And it's like that was the only character progression he ever got. In Spectacular Spider-Man, he went through the Venom symbiote and everything, and they actually made it like it wasn't just like a just this like little thing where he became a jerk. Like they actually did it really well in Spectacular Spider-Man. He became like, I think he in the original one he yelled at somebody. Like Spider-Man beat the crap out of somebody in the black suit. Like the suit took over and he beat like the entire Sinister Six. Like in
Yeah, I think he only
Spectacular,
yelled at Flash Thompson when he had the black suit in
Yeah.
the original. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like that was it. Like that was the only, but like they actually took episodes to like progress, and then the season finale, which made sense, was Venom. So it was like, like you had like 4 episodes there, and then like I think the last 2 episodes were about the Venom symbiote and then Venom, and it's like it was just so well done. And then you got like Aunt May, and they dealt with a lot of things that were not. Like, as I said, the original series was good, but I feel like Spectacular Spider-Man was that next step up that just really, really upped the bar for Spider-Man, in my opinion. If Spectacular Spider-Man had as many seasons as the original series did, it would have far exceeded the original. Kind of like you guys said with Thundercats. Like I think if it had the time, it would have just been so much better. They did so much more character development, as well as there was great action in there. So I mean, it was a superhero.
Well, it's a shame that.
So anyway, if you guys, I mean, it's only 2 seasons, about 24 episodes, 26 episodes, I think. If you guys haven't seen it, I would say at least check it out.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's going to be on Disney Plus. I think I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Anyway, Panny?
No, I ain't watched that.
Christine?
I have no idea if I have watched it. I've watched some Spider-Mans when I was a kid, but
Well, that was last week for you, so.
I wish.
It also has one of the best intros for a Spider-Man show too. I'm sorry, like the original one was good.
Nothing beats
Spider-Man intro was
Thundercats.
better.
When it comes to intros, nothing beats Thundercats.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'll give you that one.
Okay, we're going to welcome a guest, actually, because I can do that, bitches. I can do that.
Great.
So we have the other Jason here.
Oh, hello. He's
Put an
muted.
image there,
There we
dude.
go.
Because I only see a red circle with some waves.
It's Pepsi It's Japan, sponsored by Pepsi.
No, it's just one of my doodles. Anyway, hey guys, thank you
Hello.
for having me on.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't think
yeah.
your viewers want to see my ugly mug.
I mean, have you seen the rest of them?
I'm a picture. Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I look like somebody
I'm
fucking
really not
waxed the
sorry.
hairs off of a orangutan's face and left the rest there.
Anyway. Anyway, let's move it along. Oh, Jason number 2. Do you have anything to say about Spectacular Spider-Man? Have you watched this?
Quite
Apparently
frankly,
not.
there's so many variations now, I'm not even sure which one the spectacular is, quite honestly.
Okay, fuck it. Moving along. Young Justice. I
Yes.
have not watched it.
Yes, yes. Now you're speaking my language.
Go for it,
Okay,
then.
then go for it.
Thoughts on it?
Young Justice itself, I got to see the first 2 seasons on a streaming provider that I'll not name for the moment, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I quite liked the development, what they did with Superboy. I also found it very interesting, the angle they went for Miss Martian. It was a bit of a different viewpoint. I was also a bit surprised when they brought in the whole white Martians and green Martians thing.
Was that in series 2?
I
so.
would want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure, since I watched basically both seasons in one go.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, not quite sure what I should. I'm pretty sure Amanda Waller showed up at some point. I wasn't quite sure how I felt about her portrayal there, but that's probably more personal taste at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. They'll chastise you for your personal viewpoints. Don't you worry.
Yeah, you suck.
It's fair enough. I'll defend myself with tooth and claw.
Okay. Anything else to add, or shall I move to Jason? The other Jason.
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay.
I love this show. It is one of my top 5 favorite shows. I have seen season 3, and if you look on this channel, there's a top 10 thing. My top 10 thoughts on Young Justice season 3.
Yes, there is. And it's a good video.
I shall check it out later.
You take the sidekicks and you put them on their own team, and that's an old trope. But they made it so fresh, and they dealt with a lot of things that in season 1. Am I getting an echo?
No.
Oh, the way you were looking, I'm like, uh-oh, I got an echo again.
Sorry, I was just reading something that looks stupid.
Oh, yeah, well, I do look stupid, so. But I mean, the way they dealt with these, and I like the way that they didn't hold any. But it's kind of like the whole thing with oh god, what show were we talking about where they didn't hold any punches, and it was just it's very mature. It's for young teens,
Yeah,
and I mean,
Ren and Stimpy.
no, not that show. But
Gargoyles.
Yes, Gargoyles. How can I forget that show? But I like the way it was dark. They dealt in themes that were borderline adult. And then I mean, season 2 was just an expansion. They skipped 5 years, and then they did the team expanded. You saw more of your favorites. They dealt with death. They dealt with all these other fun, these awesome things and these awesome themes. And you had a group of kids doing black ops against a group of supervillain adults, and it's kind of I'm sitting there going, "Holy crap! These kids are owning these adults."
Kids are
and
gonna
it's just
die.
Well, that was the beauty of it. It just for me personally, I love Young Justice. I haven't watched the rest of season 3. I've got it all. It's on Netflix over here, so I will watch it. I just loved it. I love that it was it was Warner Brothers at its peak of brilliance. You know, it just we can say what we like about the DCEU, but when it comes to the animations, Warner Brothers just fucking knocks it out of the park all the time. And Young Justice was great. It had great character development in a lot of people. You know, it started off as this like immature ragtag bunch of people that just wanted to be in the Justice League and all that, and then they go above and beyond that. And what was great was season 2 was just like, holy shit, they just said, fuck it, we're not going to stick with the same format. It's 5 years later, people are dead, people have moved on, people are in relationships together, and it was just really, really good. Some of the introduction to like Blue Beetle and things like that as well. I think he was in season 2. I don't know if he was in season 1.
He was not.
He was not. Yeah, it was just great characters that they had in it. And from what I've seen in season 3, which has gone onto the streaming platform, it's a lot more violent as well, which is great. It's just like, you know what, fuck it. This is teens. This is for the teen market, the adult market. We know that they're the ones that watch this because it's the toys didn't sell, and that's why we cancelled it in the first place, despite having record viewerships as well at the time. So yeah, Young Justice is just one of those. Give Warner Brothers credit for being bold like they were with like some other things that we'll talk about later. Well, one of them. So yeah, that's it. Christine, have you watched any of Young Justice? No. Okay.
No, I have not.
All right, moving on.
X-Men.
All right, so this one is X-Men 92. Christine,
we're talking about the old shit things, yeah. With the things that we were watching when we were kids. Awesome. Yes. Well, X-Men. I don't even know what to say about X-Men. You know, it's X-Men. It's awesome.
Okay, fair enough.
I really don't know what to say. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. When you hear X-Men, you know, it's awesome.
Okay, fair enough. Roberto.
And then Jason. X-Men 92 was really good. A lot of respect for it. It's what got me into comic books. Like, literally, legit. Like, I watched X-Men 92, and then my dad took me to the comic book store because I liked it so much. And I actually collected a comic book. It was called X-Men Adventures, which was legit, almost frame for frame, a comic book of the cartoon.
Yeah, I remember the X-Men Adventures.
And so, and for some reason, even though, hey, I'd already seen it on the screen, but then I read comic books. And then once those comic books kind of went under after about, I think, 30 some issues, then I started collecting real X-Men comics and real Spider-Man comic books and everything like that. And that was where, I mean, I was 7 years old, you know, like, so it's like, you know, that's kind of where legit right got my start. I will say that, and I know you guys are going to hate me for bringing this up, but Wolverine and the X-Men is another one that's a really good show. That it was only one season, but if it would have had as many seasons as X-Men 92, it would have, I think, far surpassed what they were looking at. But I mean, no, but total absolute respect. X-Men 92 is definitely on my top 5 favorites. But yeah, I mean, that's it for me. I mean, I could get into every single detail, but then we'd be here all day.
Mm-hmm. Jason? Other Jason?
Yeah, of course. Once again, due to the demographic, I sort of fall in between 25-year-olds and, let's say, 34-year-olds. I personally got to see mostly reruns of the original animated series, and frankly, to this day, the intro will probably haunt me until the day I die, but it was also a pretty awesome intro. As far as quality of the animation and the stories they told, at least for me as a kid, it seemed solid, if pretty standard fare. Of course, they were dealing with the whole feeling ostracized by society, being the quote-unquote freaks, the mutants, the deviants of the norm, how they dealt with that. I, for one, liked most of the characters. I remember there was one morphing guy who just had a really creepy laugh and just nobody liked.
He was there to die.
He was there to
Yeah.
die. He didn't exist in the
Oh,
comics. He was just there
he
to
was
die.
very much a red shirt character at
Yeah.
that point. But I personally quite liked what they did there. As far as, if I remember correctly, that is the series that came after, where they amped up the storytelling and also the animation. I personally, yes, people are going to hate me for it, but I almost preferred that one over
X-Men
the one we're
Evolution.
currently. Yes, exactly.
I like that too. But I'm a
Yeah, I
sucker
liked
for
it too.
X-Men.
I respect it. I mean, I own it. I mean, I liked it enough to own it. I mean, as I said, I feel like everything that came after X-Men 92 was
Yeah.
good. It's just X-Men the original was just whoo.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sorry, go on.
And something I'm, let's say, a bit conflicted about is the portrayal of the character Jubilee, the one which most people just say, well, she just shoots fireworks off her fingers. I always thought that it was supposed to be a little bit more effective and maybe badly showed, but hey, heck, for all I know, I might be completely wrong and I'll be stoned in 12 hours. So that's that.
You will
But,
die on that hill, huh?
Yeah.
most likely, waving my flag while getting pelted with, I don't
With
know,
Roman
beans, for all I
candles.
know. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. For me, again, this is like this is fourth on my list of all-time favorite cartoons. Yeah, I was a huge X-Men fan before it. I got into X-Men because of Spider-Man and his amazing friends, actually, because Iceman was in there and all there. So obviously, you're reading the comics. Again, my introduction to X-Men was in Greece, the comics. They used to be like in Greece. They used to do like these little square books about that thick, and it's just like various stories, X-Men, Avengers, all of that. And that's how I got into it. I loved them. And then the arcade game came out as well, and I was just like, oh, this is just great. Then I got into the Claremont's run of the comics, and then after that, oh, fuck, who took over? I forget, but. And then the cartoon came along, and the cartoon just blew me away. The introduction, second favorite introduction of a cartoon. The music was spectacular. But if the first episode is like somebody dies, and then the team is completely fractured. Wolverine saying, "Next time, I'll use my claws when I punch you." So it was like it took on like adult themes for a kids' cartoon, and I just, obviously you watch it back now, the animation is a bit naff, but back then it was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I loved it, loved the characters in it. It had Gambit, who was one of my favorites just before the cartoon came out. He wasn't that long into the X-Men universe. It was only like a year in, I think, when he was introduced, or 2 years. But yeah, what's more to say? And also, yeah, the two follow-ups, X-Men Evolution, I absolutely love that as well. And sorry, I'm just going to finish off Jason. And yeah, Wolverine the X-Men was really good as well. So yeah, go on.
I found it funny that you brought up Iceman, but Iceman was never like Iceman was in one episode of the animated series.
Yeah, that's
So what,
that's
man?
the funny thing.
No, I just
Anyway, let's move on because we're still like fucking halfway, and the one that's coming is a big one. Dun
All right.
dun dun.
That's what the ladies say about me.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Ninja
Turtles.
Turtles.
That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna have show.
Ninja Turtles.
Or Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, as it was called over here, because we're a bunch of soft cunts. I thought the word ninja
Oh yeah,
was too
ninja
violent.
was thought to be too extreme for the British mindset, apparently.
Oh, you know that as well, huh?
Twats. Yeah, we got our own
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
spectacular brand of dickheads over here. So I'll just quickly go on this one. Turtles, listen, I still to this day love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The toys, I had so many of them.
I had them too.
I wish I never gave them
Me
away,
three.
but
I'm gonna
is
tell
what
you
it is.
something, people, that I've never told anyone.
go for
When we were kids, we were actually playing as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was usually Michelangelo.
Well, that I
Okay,
can
that's
see.
fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, and we loved it. We loved it
Well,
so much that we would actually
sorry.
play as them. And we were
Sorry.
girls playing as them.
No, that's great. That's really good. Fuck
It
it,
was
man.
fucking
Awesome.
awesome.
What were the
Fucking
Greeks thinking at the
awesome.
time?
I mean, I didn't make a survey, but you know,
All right,
I don't know. I
that's
mean,
what I mean then.
we
Who gives a
fucking
shit what
loved
you were
it.
playing?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, we
good.
fucking loved it. It was awesome. We had the toys. Awesome. One of my favorite childhood cartoons ever.
Yeah, yeah, same. Yeah, I remember when I first got the comic as well, and I was like, "This is not the same as the cartoon. This is better. This is so
Oh, you mean
violent."
the original where they all have red?
The original,
their
yeah, it
red
was black and white,
IPAs
and they
and
just
stuff.
had
Yeah,
the red. I just fucking loved it.
that
But yeah,
comic is awesome. I can only
yeah,
warmly recommend it. Hashtag not sponsored.
yeah, yeah. No, totally, totally recommend it. I mean, here, look, if you look at, hopefully this works, but on my wall now, there you can see at the bottom there, we've got the turtles displayed right under the X-Men. But yeah, loved it. Loved the cartoon. The animation, you watch it back now, it's really bad, really cheap. But at the
Well, and
time,
also the voice acting is bad. I was actually going to bring up in my
yeah,
point is it didn't age. Like I loved it too. Don't get me wrong. I grew up on it. I loved it, but yeah, it didn't age very well. That's
no,
like
not
another
at
one
all.
on this list later on that I'm gonna.
I mean, I disagree. I've seen a porn version.
Yeah. You do you, mate. You do you. Jason, Roberto, fuck it, go for it.
No, I really liked it. I loved it growing up. I mean, it was, as I said, it didn't age well because I bought all of when they came out on DVD. I bought all of the stuff, and my kids loved it when I got it. But I'm
Yeah.
sitting there watching it, going, "Oh, no wonder why I'm fucked up nowadays."
The animation was so ropey.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
I do want to hashtag not sponsored as Jason has brought into this whole thing. But there was a movie that came out, Turtles Forever. It was an animated movie, but it was when like the 2003 Turtles met the 80s Turtles. And like
Oh,
it was hilarious. You have to watch it. And then they did include the
really?
original Turtles, like from the comics, like with all the red bandanas and everything. And they were in black and white. It's a multi-dimensional type storyline, but it just riffs on everything. It riffs on everything
Wait,
Turtles.
is that recent or old?
It's like a mid 2000s, maybe late 2000s. The movie started in the original or in the 2003 Turtles revamp that came out in 2003. But then like there was time travel shenanigans and dimensional shenanigans, and then the 90 or the 80s Turtles came into that world, and then they went over into the 80s world, and then they went back to Turtle Prime, which is based off the comic books.
Oh,
It's just
I never saw that.
and it has like both It has like all three versions of Shredder, and it just makes fun of itself, and it's hilarious. I would if you love the 80s Turtles, go and watch it because it's called Turtles Forever. It is
Well, I
amazing.
will because I preferred the 2003 Turtles
Yeah,
that came out. I thought that was fantastic. It was way
and but
better.
can you imagine like all eight of the turtles like bouncing off of one another, and then the 2003 Turtles like looking at the 80s ones and like cowabunga everything, and they're just like, what is wrong with these guys?
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Other Jason?
Well, what can I say? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because thankfully, being in Switzerland, they didn't take the ninja part out. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Was basically
don't treat
part
you
of
lot like
my
idiots.
Saturday morning diet. Well, that apart from Frosted Flakes, of course, shoveling it in copiously as a small kid who was probably on a sugar high. So that just made it even more awesome for me. And yeah, the animation, yes, for today's standards, definitely a bit on the ropey side. Then again, when it came to the marketing, that was the only series that could say fresh from the sewers, and I know I'm not the first one to say
Yeah.
that, and it actually sounded tasty. And looking back, sort of what the hell was wrong with me?
I mean, it was
But
a phenomenon though,
absolutely
at the time.
loved,
Yeah.
absolutely loved it. I thought it was quirky. Of course, they went for something a bit more child friendly. Even some of the bad guys like Bebop and Rocksteady were more bumbling oafs than they were in the comics.
Yeah.
But and of course there are certain tropes. Then again, the whole idea of a sensei rat teaching mutated turtles in the sewers of the Big Apple. It was just so bizarre, but somehow it all came together in my mind. As for the newer iterations, I have to say some I liked more, some I liked less. And as far as the recent movie was concerned, oh gods, burn it with fire.
No, we don't
I
include the
really
two
don't know what the
recent.
hell they were thinking there. Sorry for
No.
bringing that up.
That's Michael Bay just taking a dump on everything again.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. 80
Yeah.
Maniacs.
Okay, who wants to take this one?
I didn't like it that much. So, what? I don't even remember which one it was.
The pigeons, man. The pigeons.
The pigeons?
The pigeons were fantastic.
Dude, Pinky
Until-
in the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain.
Even the sort of that auntie squirrel and her either niece or nephew. I was never quite sure.
Non-binary. We'll keep it non-binary.
Non-binary pitch or not
Exactly,
binary
non-binary
squirrel.
before that was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked this show. I thought it was a lot of fun. I love the Nations of the World by Yakko. I don't know, one of the two boys. You know, I don't know. I just this was a show that was, you know, it did Ren and this is you guys are gonna hate me for saying this. This is a show, in my opinion, that did Ren and Stimpy right. So yeah, see, yeah, give me that look. Give it. But yeah, that's my opinion on it. It's just that this show did Ren and Stimpy right.
All right. Yeah, I loved Animaniacs. You know, I liked Pinky and the Brain a lot, and the pigeons were my favorite part. The main Animaniacs, the brother and sister, they had their moments as well. Yeah, it was just great. It was just wacky, zany. Had a lot of adult themes as well to it, which was always good. So yeah, not much else to say. Just really enjoyed it. It was just Warner Brothers in the 90s. You know, a bit dumbed down, but still a lot of fun. Christine, you said you never watched it, right?
I have, but I don't remember it much. And yeah, I don't know, man. I don't remember it.
Oh, that's fair enough. Other
You
Jason?
know?
Yeah, I watched it, and I also used to watch it when there were also crossovers with Freakazoid and other series from this, as far as I know, basically the same producers. What I personally liked about Animaniacs, and I only sort of discovered that when I became a young adult, was actually and rewatching it was actually all the slightly higher brow jokes that they worked into there. I always had the feeling they gave something for the older audience,
Yeah.
but how should I say? It wasn't all about the dick jokes. It was a bit more subtle, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
then again, tastes differ. But I also like the fact that they also had simpler jokes for the kids there, so that technically, thank you. And yes, I fully agree. It was pretty awesome. But I just like the fact that Spielberg was involved, probably a little bit more in that one than with a few other series.
Yeah.
So just can say, good series, enjoy it. There is something for an older audience, there's something for a young audience, and I think the animation still holds up.
Yeah.
Is that the one with this little thing with the helmet? Or that's Looney Tunes?
That's Looney Tunes.
I think
Okay, I'm
that
sorry.
the
You need a
Martian
helmet.
from
What are you
Looney
talking
Tunes you're
about?
referring
Never
to.
mind then. Never mind then.
Okay then. Oh, moving on.
Moving on. Beavis and Butthead.
I'm the great controller. I need TV for my bunghole. Oh, I love Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Loved it. I love Mike Judge. It just anything that guy does is just awesome. Yeah, Beavis and Butthead at the time, it was all beautifully coincided with obviously the MTV generation. And they just like made a mockery of it. They'd watch all these videos and just take the piss out of them. And then in their own lives, they're nothing but just a bunch of fucking, that kind of crazy loser kids that will fucking huff anything and smoke anything and don't really do much, just complete utter wankers. It was fucking hilarious. Yeah, I loved it. Even the film was a lot of fun as well. It was better than I expected it to be. Yeah, that's all I got to say. Let's go with new Jason.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead. It's a series that I am very half and half about. On the one hand, uh, definitely funny, bizarre situations. The concepts were quite novel, at least back in the day. I would say it was probably the series that also sort of introduced me to a lower level of shock humor. And the crudeness of it all. On the other hand, there's just a part of me that sort of goes like, God, those are two seriously dumb shitheads, and some of the stuff they did was sort of. I always got the feeling that they were just doing the shock for the shock value. Probably very unpopular, but I thought that was a series that was definitely entertaining, but could have done with a little bit more story, in my opinion. There you go.
Fair enough. Christine?
Okay, it's juvenile humor. Let's face it, it's stupid, but it's fun. But what I like the best about Beavis and Butthead is the fact that Sir Patrick Stewart loves it. It's one
Of
more
course he
thing
does.
that I love about him. He's the fucking
Yes.
best, and I love it. It's so
Come to
funny,
think of
so
it,
stupidly
Picard
funny.
laughing at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Roberto?
I'm the same with other Jason. I'm half and half. I mean, it's dumb, stupid humor. It I kind of don't like it when it's doing kind of some of the perverted kind of stupid stuff, but like when they're just being idiots and like doing like I don't know. I mean, as I said, I'm kind of half and half on it, but I mean, I didn't watch a lot of it either. Like I mean, my one memory from it is like the lights. They're at a gym or something, and then the lights go out, and then when it comes back on, they're like, or they're looking for a snake, and then when the lights come back on, they're like holding each other's junk. They're both like, I got it, or something like that. I don't remember, but it was. And they come back on, they're holding each other's junk, and they're mortified. And, I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm like, oh God, am I watching this?
Yeah, well, it was great.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on quickly because we're quite a while in. So I don't know if anyone else has watched Big Mouth.
I watched the first season. Yes.
Okay. Two Jasons.
I've seen all of season 1, and I'm basically halfway through season 2. But
Roberto.
I'll give my thoughts later.
Skip. Never seen it.
All right, I've seen all 3 seasons because I have no life. The first 2 seasons it blew me away. The way it just tackled so many things about puberty, sexuality, bodily functions, all this kind of stuff. It's just the music is brilliant. Some of the songs they do and all of that. But I've got to be honest, like season 3 was shit. it was too much of the same. And it's like, okay, we've done it. What's the next step? You need to evolve your characters, and it doesn't really do that. But the first two seasons, just like,
Oh
oh no, we've lost one. Oh, no. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Yeah, I just think the way it tackles subjects is really clever, but it does need to evolve in season 4. It needs to like really just mature itself, if that makes sense. Christine?
I need to catch up because I've only watched the first season. I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. I agree with you about the subjects that it touches and how it explores them. I mean, the horny monsters. Oh my god,
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
awesome! Like, yeah, it brings me back back to those days. Teenage years
Yeah,
and all this confusion.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
Yep.
Jason.
What can I actually add to that? The characters are definitely fleshed out in more ways than one, pardon the pun.
Okay.
And how should I say, when I look at Glauberman, I just have to. Sorry about that. I just have to say that that guy just can't catch a break, as
No,
in
he
at
really
all.
can't.
It's just
Yeah.
it seems to me, at least into the halfway of season 2, that things are just going from bad to worse for that poor guy. And at some point, I'm sort of thinking, isn't this going a little bit beyond believability? Yes, says the guy who talks about an animated series, but I personally always like it when sort of slice of life kind of series try at least to stay within quote unquote, sort of believable parameters.
Yeah. It doesn't get much better. Let's be. But I think that's what
Yes.
that's why for me season 3 was really bad, because it's just okay. Yes, we've seen all of this. Why are we just repeating ourselves? And that's what season 3 does. I just found it like it just went nowhere, and it was a huge letdown. But it's in the top 25 list just because whatever, we just randomly added a bunch of stuff. But the way when it exploded onto the scene, it was just amazing how we tackled the subjects.
One thing I would like to add, the character of Shame,
Yeah,
that was actually a pretty good move. I found that slightly Davy Bowie-esque kind of character going around and making everyone feel weird in a very weird way. It reminded me very much of social anxieties that a lot of people tend to have to deal
but
with.
Shane
And
was
as
one
a
of the best
teenager, of
additions.
course,
Yeah,
exactly. It's always just ramped up to 11 thanks to
Yeah.
those funny little hormones.
yeah, I totally agree. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Okay, now we're going back to the past.
Way back.
Way back. Droopy Dog.
Right.
I don't even know what he sounds like.
I don't
Well.
remember what he sounds like.
It sounds like this. I'm very
it has
happy.
a little bit of a lisp in there too.
There's a little bit of a lisp, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Droopy Dog was just fucking hilarious. I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves. I mean, one of its most famous scenes again was with the wolf and his eyes exploding out and the tongue and all of this kind of stuff. But it was the pacing of it. You had this melancholic dog with absolute chaos happening around him, and the violence and the pace of which it happens is just so fucking funny. One of my all-time favorite cartoon episodes is a Droopy one with where he's like the deputy sheriff in a jail, and there's these two guys that are trying to break into it for some reason, and it just the chaos that unfolds is just fucking hilarious. The pacing of it, but it just has a special place in my heart for Droopy. That's why I added it in. It's in my top 10 of all time as well. Roberto.
I remember very little from Droopy Dog, but I remember that sheriff episode. That's one thing that I remember.
Yeah,
And I mean, yeah,
I love it.
I love how it's just like he's just like so chill, and it's like, you know, and the chaos ensuing around him. He's like Eeyore before Eeyore was cool.
Yeah.
Which way?
Yeah,
I don't know which
that's
one
a
came
good
first.
description. He's like Eeyore trapped in a crazy world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christine?
I don't remember much about it, but I remember that I liked it as a child. It was wholesome. That's what I remember. It was like it was. I don't remember anything controversial about it. It was just, the droopy dog, and it was
Yeah, it was. He was a wholesome character.
yeah,
The stuff that went on around him wasn't, but yeah.
yeah.
Other Jason?
I only remember a few episodes, but from what I remember, I also loved the fact that he was the eye of the storm. He would deliver the stuff so deadpan,
Yeah.
while there was utter pandemonium around it. And as far as I know, there weren't any controversies really attached to that character, which is a nice change of pace, frankly, especially these days.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he has to be
Apart from
super
that,
boring
I
in order
don't
not to have
much to
controversy.
That's it. Okay, move on to the next one then. Let's get these down.
Popeye.
Okay.
Oh man.
Who wants to take this one?
Oh man. Like, it's probably one of the first cartoons I've ever watched, because it's an old cartoon. It's a fucking old cartoon for real. But it was so enjoyable. Like, how he would crush the can of spinach and eat it through his pipe. Like, you don't come up with this shit anymore, you know? And Olive was so fucking ugly, but both of them were after her. Like, I love this shit.
Yeah, it was just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roberto.
I mean, I enjoyed Popeye. I actually, one of my first experiences with Popeye was the Robin Williams movie way back in the 80s.
Good
So,
film, yeah.
Never watched
I
it.
miss Robin
It was
Williams.
good. It was a good film. Thickless. Or Focus.
Once again, one of those series that I joined a little late to the party, but I remember enjoying it. I found the outlines definitely reminded me of older cartoons. It was definitely a bit more spaghetti at times, spaghetti arms and legs, than more modern fare. But I didn't mind as a kid. I thought the stories were fun, and yes, the creativeness on the show, I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, it definitely had a throwback to the early, but Popeye's really old. Popeye's like, I think, what was it, 1930s or 40s, 50s?
Really?
Yeah, around there. It's
40s?
really old.
Damn old.
Yep.
Yeah, Popeye goes way back, man. Paramount Animations at the time. I think it was Paramount. Go way, way back, way before like all the other stuff. Let me see. Oh, it's hard to find, but yeah, I loved it. It was one of my favorites as a kid growing up. Yeah, I loved it, like the animation. Like, you figured you watch it and then something just there you go, 1929.
Wow.
1929.
It is old cartoon.
It's really old cartoon.
I mean, Zam was like 5 at the time.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I remember it well.
Well,
No wonder why you put it on this list.
Yeah. Well, it's a good fucking show to put on the list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of like the old boys, man. It was way before like Tom and Jerry and all of that.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. Okay, moving on. I don't know why this is on here, but
what do you mean?
well, we could swap either
We
Dexter's or
swapped
SpongeBob needs to
it,
be
we
swapped out.
swapped it, but I'm going to change a little bit the thing right now because I want to leave the best for the end. Let's go to the real Ghostbusters.
Okay, other Jason, you take this one.
Well, it was his pick anyway, so.
Okay, Roberto, sorry, you take this one.
Oh, it hit me right at the right time. I mean, when I was growing up, I saw the Ghostbusters movie and I loved it. And so, I mean, it was I mean, it was a good show. It aged fairly well. I mean, it depends on who wrote the episode. I know going back and watching some of the old episodes, it's like, there were some that were done by Straczynski that were really good. And then there were just a lot of other ones that were just kind of like, Saturday morning cartoon garbage. But I mean, I liked it. I mean, back with my, ADHD stupid eyes, I liked all the flashy lights and Stay Puff and yada, yada, yada from the movie showing up in there. But I mean, the voice cast was, I thought, really good. I thought they did a pretty good job. And I thought they did a pretty good job translating from the movie to the small screen. So that's it for me. It was a good show for me.
Yeah,
I skipped because I don't remember it much. I remember
Okay.
watching it, but I don't remember that much.
All right, Jason.
Ah, yes, the real Ghostbusters, another staple of my Saturday morning diet. And although the characters did change a little bit in the animated series, I would say certain aspects were ramped up, certain others were muted down. I still think that they got a good 4-member cast, voice actors, and also I can't fault the animation. I think it still holds up reasonably well today. Big fan of the series, and what the hell ever happened to Ecto Cooler? I really wish they'd brought it back at some point. Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
the
yes.
stuff.
Nice.
Hitting me right in the feels, man.
Have that. Some nostalgia for your asses. Lovely.
And that they still use the hearse car as their ghostbusting mobile. Definitely,
the Ecto one,
worth it.
Yeah, brilliant.
Actually, I have a quick story. But I had a white PT Cruiser back in the day. So one time for Halloween, we all went as Ghostbusters. So I kind of put some boxes and stuff on top of my car, and I made my car look like the Ecto one. Like it wasn't anything good, but I mean, it made the point that we were trying to be the Ghostbusters.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, it sucked, Jason. It sucked.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, Ginger.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved Ghostbusters. I wasn't a big. I liked the first film. I didn't like the second film at all. But the cartoon was what I was a huge fan of. I had a buttload of the toys, especially the vehicles. I loved it. I thought, it was, it was fun, silly. What I hated was when it became Slimer and the Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah, that was garbage.
That was shit.
Yeah, that was
it just died for me.
Well, I remember watching it a lot, but I don't remember a lot about it.
I remember not liking Slimer, and they had like one of the bad traits of 80s cartoons. They always thought they needed to have these stupid Jar Jar Binkses. Okay, that because they thought, oh yeah, the kids will like this and relate to this, and all right, Slimer was popular for many, but I hated him. Orko, Snarf, all these little fuckwits. I've never liked these stupid little sidekicks. I don't like them.
Snarf.
They all suck. Annoying little shit.
Snarf.
But other than that, the animation still holds up really, really well for its time.
Mm-hmm.
The voice acting is fantastic. I just really enjoyed it. Was it Straczynski's one that took a really more scary, darker tone to it, especially in the style of the animation. I just thought that was really great. I never noticed it as a kid because I was just like, oh, ghosts, toys, woo. But when you grow up, you're like, yeah. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Blew my mind when it first came out. All right, move on to the next one, I suppose. I never watched this.
Neither
I
have
never watched this, but
it's Tartakovsky, so I'm sure it was good. I loved it.
Okay, so Jason number 2, since you proposed this one, I guess. Well, of course, it's a bit weeby, isn't it?
Well, you could make the argument that Jack was actually never a samurai but a ronin, but enough of the weebing for now. 2001, Samurai Jack, and yes, I'm not the first one to say that, so shout out to Pan Pizza. I think he did a very nice summary of that. But as far as I'm concerned, it was like nothing you'd seen on TV or to a certain extent, even movies in general. I very much enjoyed the fact that it was very action based. However, they managed to keep it fresh through over 50 seasons. Also, that they took inspiration from, for example, the 70s football film called The Longest Yard, which is the reason why they did this split paneling style of presentation. Of course, it's very robot heavy because, back in the day, Jack couldn't just slice up living people. So they went for some, but being in the future, quote unquote, they were still able to get a lot of pretty decent action in. I very much like the storytelling with very little dialogue. Not something everybody likes, I'm aware, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm also happy that recently, well, relatively recently at least, they also brought out the 5th and last season, and they went all out there, and I can only very, very warmly recommend it. Give it a try out. You just might like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see myself not liking it. I'm a huge fan of Genndy Tartakovsky. Like his Clone Wars was just blew me away. And like I said, he tells a lot of story with not much dialogue. So yeah, it's just it's just never really been on my radar to watch it. I should really, because I know I'll enjoy it. But yeah, that's it. Anyone else got anything else to add, or should we move on?
Not
No, I
really.
mean, I would probably like it. I mean, from everything I've seen outside of seeing it, I would probably really like it. But
I
just
have a question.
Mhm.
Is it PG-13?
It was for the Cartoon Network.
The first 4 seasons, I'm pretty sure about that.
Then yeah, Jason would like it.
Shut up.
That's snap. All right, moving on.
All right. Now we're on to the last 2. With of course SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh God,
Christine.
get me on this one.
Oh my God, I loved it, and I was an adult at the time.
Oh, so much.
Like, oh my God, I love it so much. I love it.
Okay.
And yeah,
That's it?
I was an adult when I was watching it, binging
yeah,
it rather.
of course you were.
I mean, there's a lot of adult humor in there. A lot. I also like the movie. Like, oh my God, this is
The recent one they brought out with the Banderas in it. I fucking love that film.
I haven't watched this one, but
it was good.
I watched the first one with Hasselhoff.
Yeah, that was great as well.
Oh my God, it was so good. Like, one of my favorite cartoons of, let's say, the more recent years. Okay, that's a bit not accurate because I'm talking about like 10-15 years ago, but anyway, you know how it is.
Oh yeah.
Apparently time flies when you're
Well, SpongeBob is still
Yeah.
going.
yeah.
Still going strong. I think it's about to come to an end.
Oh, please God, yes.
No, it's the best. It's
No,
the
it is
best thing that happened out of Nickelodeon, like for real.
All terrible things must come to an end.
I liked it. I liked SpongeBob. It's just, it's peak Nickelodeon at being Nickelodeon.
It's awesome.
It's really good. It's a lot of fun. I love the films. The series was great. I haven't seen every single episode, but I've seen a good chunk of them, and yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Jason, other Jason.
Yeah, when it came on, I wasn't really that interested in watching it. It probably just didn't hit me as a demographic in the first place, so I didn't give it a lot of thought. And
Well, that's because you have standards in your cartoons.
You shut up. Back in your cage,
Yeah, back in your cage.
you filthy.
I didn't hate it, and I would say as a guilty pleasure, I occasionally watched it, but it just never was really my thing, so I can't say much to it because I don't like being one of those guys who only watched one episode and goes, okay, I completely hate it. I just automatically condemn it. Just didn't catch my imagination, I guess.
Okay, fair enough.
You know what? The
All
only
right.
thing I can say that came out of SpongeBob that was good was the Burger King commercial years ago, and where Sir Mix-a-Lot came back and did a "I like square butts and I cannot lie" song. If you have not seen it,
God,
if
I
you
will
have
check
not
that
seen
I'll
it,
out.
you
check it
have
out.
to look
God,
it up.
Jason, you
I
That's the
will
only
check
good thing
that
that
out.
came out of that.
you
I will
suck.
definitely check that out.
It's so
That just
great.
sounds awful, but I'll love it.
And it's like a whole song. Like there's a whole song of it. Sir Mix-a-Lot wrote a
Jesus.
whole song for this stupid SquarePants song for
Well,
commercial
it's the only
for
song he's fucking written in the last 28
SpongeBob
years.
is not stupid.
I know he's
Okay,
not stupid.
you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it.
You don't understand the nuance of it, dude.
Yes, you don't get it, man. You don't
Yeah.
get it.
It's like existential.
Yeah,
Okay.
man, like for real. So we're down to the last one.
And this one wasn't originally on the list. Who
Dun
the
dun
fuck
dun.
forgets this?
No, I
Well,
think we all
I was
assumed.
going to put it in, but then nobody mentioned it. I'm like, well, maybe they don't. But,
You know.
Batman.
Yeah. I mean, the other great
Yeah.
animated phenomenon of the 90s, right next to X-Men, was Batman the Animated Series.
Yep.
And this was just, I mean, oh, what can you say about it? It was just amazing. Mark fucking Hamill as the Joker was brilliant. The voice casting in general was just fantastic. It was dark. It was it just told good stories. It had good episodes, great villains, great portrayal of the villains. I mean, it's as much as part of the mythos of Batman as anything else. For me, I absolutely just loved it. I went back, I rewatched it not that long ago. Still brilliant. Take it to Christine.
I really don't know where to well, not where to start, what to say. It's one of these things that are just, it's just a part of, I think, every one of us childhood, of what we were watching, like the standard things that we were watching in the 90s. Good shit, It's
Yeah.
just, it's one of those things. It's just good, I don't know. I don't have word. I'm not really eloquent today,
Oh,
people.
okay.
Like for real.
Other Jason, and then we'll finish off with Roberto.
Yeah, what is there to say? The style was crisp. They basically worked off a black background and then added the color in, making everything a bit more muted. The character design, the voice actors, the stories, and yes, I can only repeat the portrayal of Batman's villains, especially Mr. Freeze, for example. That's one that when
Yeah.
I think about it, it still makes me a little bit nostalgic, but also a little bit sad because poor guy was really just trying to help his wife and things just went a bit sideways for him. And even that line, I would what was that? I would shed tears if I had tears to shed. I was just thinking, God damn, this has become Shakespearean quickly. Absolutely enjoyed it, and yes, sometimes I like these little nods, as geeky as they might be.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved the series. Can't really think of anything that I could really criticize about it, and that's pretty rare.
Yeah, I agree. It was excellent. Roberto? Hey, asshole.
Is he
Is he
frozen?
frozen? Oh, he's dead.
OMG!
Ah, just as addicted
OMG!
Batman. No. Oh
No!
no. And the
No!
poor bastard was like itching to talk
No!
about it.
How did
I
this
thought I'll leave it till
happen?
last because he'll really
How
like.
did this happen?
I
Oh
would say keep
no.
calm,
Oh,
carry on, and hope that he pops back in soon.
He said his computer died.
Oh
he
no!
can get it from his phone.
God
No,
damn it!
Jason, yeah, log in from your phone.
It's the
No.
computer, not the internet.
It was a
Smart
computer
ass.
that went tits ass.
Yeah.
Let's see what it says.
He's not saying anything.
No, he's not saying anything.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a problem always. Never said that thing.
Oh
What's going on?
no. Oh dear. Looks like we'll have to end the stream. We've done our top 25.
We managed it. It
Yes.
only took us like almost 2 hours. Like we're an hour more. Man, I didn't expect it would take that long. And imagine, for the most part, we didn't have a fourth, and we didn't have Zam. Imagine how long it would have
If we had
been.
time, we'd still be
Holy
talking about Tom
shit!
and Jerry.
Yes.
Because we'll be like, stop interrupting us.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, this has been a fucking marathon, you
Oh, it
guys.
has.
If
Oh,
anyone has
good
stuck
man.
around thus far, thank you, and we apologize, but
Not
not
the-
really.
Not really.
Yeah, not
We have
really.
no format. We do what we like.
Yeah. We have no format. We have no shame.
That's right.
That's
Uh,
the reason why you all are coming to this channel and watching these fine people.
Right, That's
exactly.
right. Exactly. All two of them. Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay. All right. So I
We're
guess we
done.
won't hear from Jason because apparently his phone says it doesn't have Chrome on his phone.
Uh-oh.
Ooh. This is embarrassing.
Oh dear.
Oh
well.
dear.
All right.
Oh
Let's
dear
kill it. I'm
indeed.
done.
Well, I'm gonna do this because why the fuck not? And I'm gonna do this and roll the outro, bitch.
Top 25 best cartoons of all motherfucking time. In no particular order.
Thank you for watching and see you next time.